I'd like to ask questions about the style manual, which is produced under the auspices of the Digital Transformation Agency. It's something very dear to the Chair's heart. I know she stated this in the public. Language is crucial, and it's a very powerful driver of behaviour, and it's been shown to be influential for many hundreds of years now. So our office recently investigated the origin of the style manual, and we got this advice. Quote, "The Australian Government Style Manual was produced under authority from the Australian Government. It is a government publication, but there does not appear to be any specific regulatory or legislative framework under which it was produced." Is that correct?
I would need to take that on notice, Senator. I'm sorry.
So my understanding is there's no specific regulatory or legislative framework. So I noticed that this 7th edition was compiled by a working group with 167 different agencies. There you go, Senator Gallagher, you're always helpful. 167 different agencies. Some of whom are organisations, some of whom are individuals, some are voluntary, some are paid part-time. How much did edition 7 of the Style Manual cost, and what is the annual budget of the Style Manual unit?
So I will need to look behind me to see if we have anybody with the numbers for the cost of producing the style manual. Sorry? So we'll get the numbers for you as soon as we can, Senator. But the actual style manual team is very small. It is purely on a sustainment footing right now, which means sustainment is just minimum support. So we have a digital edition which we have produced, which you would be well aware of. Some are very keen still to get paper copies, as you would expect, and lots of very enthusiastic participants. But the investment in the style manual has largely ceased.
Well, someone has got to keep going with this, because there's a document on the website that says help us improve the style manual. So someone collects this feedback and then actions it. So there is an ongoing cost. So have you worked out how much it is going to cost to go through all the federal government business and implement the changes called in this style manual?
So, Senator, we have released the latest edition, and beyond that, the feedback that we take will potentially make incremental improvements. The benefit we have, though, with the style manual being digital is that it is much simpler for us to make minor refinements than it is where you have a physical document. So it is, as I said, a very small team. It's 1 or 2 people, and they respond to feedback and ensure that the product is maintained with very small sets of changes.
So if it's not a referable document that can be referenced, how do you maintain the integrity of the document? How do we make sure that no one can just walk in and change it when they want to?
So we put controls around
what sort of
changes
controls
to the document. If it's helpful, we'll provide on notice a summary of the team, the level of change, and then how we're ensuring that the actual product is change controlled in the way that you would expect it to be.
Correct me if I'm wrong, the document only exists on a web page at the moment. There's no printed copy.
So other than copies that we have produced for editing and so on, there are no
But there's no copy that the Minister authorises, or anyone has authorised, or any body has authorised?
So we had, as you demonstrated, many stakeholders who were participating in the refinement of the style manual in the latest edition. I'll come back to you with the detail as to how that process was undertaken to the point at which this is the specific person who authorised the final copy, and then how do we manage
who's the guardian of changes in future. And
Yes.
what about, has anyone in the government done the costing of what it will cost to change thousands of web pages, to make sure that language is complied with, thousands of forms? Has anyone done the costing of that, the implementation costs of this?
I wouldn't have thought so, Senator.
Okay. At the end of the development process, did the Minister approve the final format?
So I'll come back to you on notice on that.
Okay. I note that the style manual prevents the use of the word junior to describe an adolescent. Have you told all the junior footy clubs around Australia that they have to change their name to adolescents?
I don't believe we have, Senator.
Adolescent footy clubs. So I'm even told that the word youth, I better get this right, the word youth is okay, the word young people is okay, but the word junior or juniors or youths is not okay. So I notice the STAR manual also requires federal government employees to find out the user's preferred pronoun. Now, you didn't follow your own manual because nobody asked me what my preferred pronoun was. So, is it more than a recommendation, or is that all it is?
So, Senator, it's a reference for good writing. And in order for us to provide that advice, there is a level of discretion that can still be applied at the individual author level. This is good practice guidance that has been updated to be more contemporary than the last edition.
Based upon what a lot of people have inputted, but no reference to the English language or dictionaries or custom and practice of what our language means. Just a lot of opinions going in. You're not familiar with the process, okay. My Senate motion number 1055 sought to remove use of gender-neutral language from federal government business. I asked the Office of Digital Transformation to update the STAR manual accordingly and advised it wasn't necessary as the specific language expressions in my motion were not contained in the STAR manual. Is that still your position?
I will come back to you, Senator.
Okay. Now, your web pages are not numbered for reference. In the section on language, your web page advises use gender-neutral language. Now, federal programs are being changed to gender-neutral language, and your STAR manual is given as the reason. But apparently, the department refuses to remove or qualify this gender-neutral requirement. Is that correct?
Senator, I'm going to need to come back to you with.
So I've got a few final terms, Chair, that I'd just like to check.
Very quickly, Senator Roberts.
Which is recommended by the Office of Digital Transformation for these common terms? Breastfeeding or chest feeding?
Senator, I have not.
Breast milk or chest milk? Father or non-birthing parent? Mother or gestational parent? My motion has the effect of preventing this language, and now you are proposing use of this language. Does that mean you're defying the will of the Senate?
Did it pass, I don't think?
Yeah.
It did pass.